and why is it important?
Yeah, and that's the whole nature of the collective that I'm building because there's this idea, a misconception really, that in bee culture, which I'm obsessed with bee culture. I just love them. I love the way that they work together. There, and even I was wrong, right? When I first told my daughter about how to look at these friendships, I'm like, don't be the worker bee, be the flower, be the queen bee. Don't, and I was wrong. I had to come back later over time and really like think about it and process the culture of bees. Worker bees are amazing. They are actually the heartbeat of that hive, right? Not the queen. And if the queen is not producing, if she's not setting the culture, that's her job, is to produce the babies, the ideas, right? That's how I look at it. Some people think, oh, the queen is like everything. She's in charge. She's not in charge. She is the one who has delegated really to all of her babies, all of her children. They're the ones really in charge. And if she stops producing, if she starts to secrete the wrong pheromones or she's just not up to snuff, they will swarm her, overheat her, and she will die and I'll make a new one. Right? The difference between the queen bee and the worker bees is just your diet. So when you think of it that way and you realize you're just like the difference between her and them is that she's just ingesting things and processing things differently, but they're the same and they are interdependent and reliant on each other, right? And so I have a client right now who is in her 60s. She was her in her worker bee phase recently. Before that, she was in her queen bee phase for a long time because she has had a partner. Her husband of 30 plus years passed away. That immediately threw her, instantaneously threw her into a worker bee phase, right? So she went from being the queen of her hive and really kind of being able to delegate and do what she pretty much wanted to, right? Back into being a worker bee, trying to take care of everything, trying to figure out everything, trying to handle business, trying to do, because all of a sudden she's a widow, right? And she was burning herself out over the last year. And what I shared with her is that's because you are not supposed to be in the worker bee phase right now. You are supposed to go to the flower phase. Now, in that flower phase is where you do what I call sort of that incubation, more of an incubation period. That is where you are focused. Your main job as a flower is metacognition, right? That is all I really want you to do as a flower is think about thinking, why do I think this way? Why am I feeling this way? What is the why behind my what? Because when you take all of that data, all that metacognition data from your flower phase into your worker and queen phase, that's when you